Hopefully that's better. I'm sorry, you won't be able to see the view. Maybe I'll change it so that way you won't have to see me. But anyway, I'll be on to answer any questions that anybody has. I love my practice so much, and I've been doing it for so very long, and it was definitely nothing that I thought I was gonna like. When I first came to yoga, I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. I got so much things to do. I don't have time to lose, stretch with these people. And I've realized it's so much deeper than that. And then when I get to see my students have that aha moment, when they finally connect and they understand how our breath flows our movement and how we're going inward to try to not let outward things affect us as much. So today I just want to flow with you guys. I'll walk you through it, but I just won't be as detailed about it. So hopefully you guys can get on your mat and join me, and I appreciate you guys so much, more than you know. I have a workshop coming up on Saturday, and it's called Yoga for Sex, but we're barely going to be doing a lot of yoga poses. It's more about connecting with your insides and learning how to engage those muscles, and when you can use those muscles, which is our second diaphragm. So we're talking about the pelvic floor in my workshop on Saturday. So we're talking about the pelvic floor, which is our second diaphragm. So our diaphragm is up here, right underneath our rib cage, and it kind of goes up, and then, but we're talking about down here with our pelvic floor, and so that is our second diaphragm. And so same thing, when our diaphragm's up in our ribs, we exhale and it goes down, and we're pressing it down, and then we inhale, expands. And so I might have said that backwards, but anyway, we're trying to just really breathe, let our breath flow, and we're also trying to connect those muscles. So when we're breathing and we're connecting in those muscles, and then we're trying to engage them and move them all the way up to the skull, there's amazing things that happen, different proteins and crystals that we can put through our body. So as yogis, we know how to get high on our own supply. So there's going to be a little bit of that in the pelvic floor workshop on Saturday. It's at noon. So I know it's called Yoga for Sex, and I'm probably not supposed to say that. I'm going to get banned for saying that word, but it's more for your intrinsic muscles. It's more for your mind-body connection in the pelvic floor. It's more to understand how those muscles work and how to use them. So yes, it will be better for a lot of things, whatever you want it to be. And then we'll also talk about like how to move the breath. We'll do deeper breathings. We'll do just some, I'm so excited and nervous about this workshop, but I really hope you guys join me. So, all right, let's flow. So I'm gonna move my mat. I'm sorry that we're not gonna have the pool background. I don't know if you guys want me as background. That's probably rather have the pool. But I know a lot of people are visual and they need to see the pose, so bear with me. And relax. Hopefully. Okay, let's see. That's better. Okay. So, okay. So anyway, I'll go ahead and just jump right in. Usually we start each class with a breath of fire, but I'm just gonna kind of jump right in because I blah, blah, blah a lot at the beginning. So I know you guys have better things to do than listen to me and breathe. So we're just gonna go ahead and start in a normal cat-cow today. So inhale, I want you to pull your chest through. So start getting your breath to follow your movement. So since you're at home, you don't need to follow anybody else's movement, just follow your own. So if you inhale, press your body away, tuck your chin to your chest, tuck your tailbone, keep inhaling. And then when you get to the top of your inhale, try to hold as much as you can, and then exhale all your air out as you pull your chest through, you arch your back, lifting your sits bones. Inhale, press away, tuck your chin. So do this at your own pace. So just do a few of those. If you need to get a deeper stretch, you can kind of tuck your toes when you go into your cow, and just really imagine your sits bones kind of opening up. So kind of pulling Imagine that you're breathing through your spine. I know that sounds crazy until my students get their aha moment and then they're like, oh my gosh, I'll feel it. I'll feel it. So breathe and then exhale, press away. So again, we're doing this on our own breath. And then just coming back to neutral whenever you're done breathing. And then just take your knees off the mat just a little bit and hold. Come on, hold. I know a lot of us have probably been doing a lot of sitting, working on computers, trying to figure stuff out. So just hold and breathe. Come on. Exhale, downward facing dog. Come to see me, come to see me. And so just take a second to take a few breaths here. Don't worry about how your pose looks. Don't worry about anything that's going on the camera. Start working on your breath. So we're always trying to inhale for 4 and exhale for 8 using your belly. Belly rises big when we inhale. As we exhale, belly goes small. Inhale, belly goes big. Exhale, belly goes small. Come on, just 2 more breaths with me. Inhale, belly big. Exhale, belly small. Step to the top of your mat, forward fold. I hope you stayed with me. Don't give up on yourself. So when we're really trying to focus inward, we're not listening to the excuses of things that are too hard or we don't want to do. But it takes time to quiet the mind. Listen to the body. Inhale, rise all the way up, palms pressed together. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, step back to your half push-up. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. So let your breath follow your movement. So it's 1 inhale, not 2 or 3 short ones. It's 1 long inhale, 1 extra long exhale. Step to the top of your mat, forward fold, exhale. Inhale, rise all the way up, get to the top of your breath. Exhale, forward fold, exhale everything out. Inhale, flat back. And keep inhaling as you step back to your half push-up. Inhale, upward facing. Hold, get to the top of your inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Taking a few more breaths here, really working on that big belly breath. Extending the inhales and exhales. Deepening your down dog. Step to the top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, palms pressed together. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, step back to your half push-up. Inhale, upward facing. Really keep inhaling. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, forward fold, step to the top of your mat. Inhale, rise all the way up, palms pressed together, try to exhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back, pull back in those shoulder blades. Exhale, step back to your half push-up. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step to the top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, palms pressed together, shoulder blades down and back, strong mountain. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, go back to your half push-up. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. I hope you're focusing on going inward in this practice. Don't worry about how your pose looks. Going inward as much as you can. Try to close your eyes if you can tonight. Just escape into your body. Right leg comes up, warrior one. Exhale all the way down to your half push-up. One exhalation all the way down. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing. Left foot steps between your hands, warrior one. Everything is forward. Hips are forward. Shoulders are forward. Exhale all the way down to your half push-up. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right foot steps between your hand, warrior two. Straighten out your front leg. Reaching forward down towards your right ankle. Gaze up towards your left fingertips and lift your body. Triangle. Coming back, warrior two. Take your elbow on the inside of your knee. Press your knee away. Arm reaches up and over. Twist. Arm is reaching. Breathe. Back to warrior two. Exhale all the way down to your half push-up. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. Just kind of sway your hips side to side. Left foot steps up, warrior two. Straighten out your front leg, hinge forward, reaching down towards your shin. Right hand up, gaze up towards your fingertips, your drishti. Breathe. Warrior two. Elbow on the inside of your knee. Side angle lunge. Breathe. Come back to your warrior two. Circle your hands all the way down. Now this is why I tell everyone to bridge and dome their fingers, because eventually you'll practice on your fingertips. Breathe. Vinyasa through. Step to the top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, palms pressed together. And then as you exhale, sink down, like you're sinking down onto a wall into your chair pose. Breathe. Gaze up towards your fingertips if you can here, palms together because it's harder. We're challenging ourselves so we can get rid of the head trash. Breathe, sink lower. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, step back to your half push-up. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step your right foot between your hands. Keep that back foot down. Warrior one. And then as you exhale, left elbow goes on the outside of your right knee and twist. Trying to keep that heel down. I still struggle with this one because in hot yoga, you keep the heel up. So in Ashtanga, you keep the heel down. So twist, breathe. Keep trying to look over that right shoulder. And release, coming up, stepping halfway up your mat. Grab opposite hands. You can always use a rag to help you with this. Opposite elbows, just wherever you are in your practice. Hips are forward, toes are forward. And then make sure you're externally rotating, internally rotating, ripping your mat 2 different directions. Hinging at the hips with your bind and just hinging towards your heart, towards your ankle. Make sure your hips don't go one way or the other. And then lower down. Take your left hand on the outside of your foot or wherever you can reach. And very carefully twisting. Really have to engage the legs here to take your gaze over your right shoulder. Twisted triangle, breathe. Keep those legs strong, firing up those glutes. Your deep six muscles, breathe. Slowly release, step to the top of your mat, forward fold. Good job. Take your peace fingers, love you, peace. Grab your big toes. Take a deep bend in your knees here. Inhale, look up, pull up. And then as you exhale, start to lean your body weight forward. Try to keep your chest on your legs if you can. If not, don't worry about it. Just pull your chest towards your legs. Your core only. Arms are relaxed like chicken wings out on the side. Breathe. Maybe turn your head yes and no. Just shaking off the day. Get rid of it. Anything that's bad, doesn't deserve you, and doesn't serve you, shake it off. Get rid of it now. Inhale, rise all the way up, palms pressed together. And then palms to prayer center. Inhale, rise all the way up, palms pressed together. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, go back to your half push-up. Inhale, upward facing. Make it good. It's your last one. Exhale, downward facing dog. Make it count. There's no reason for you to come to your mat if you're not going to come to your mat. We come to our mat to get rid of frustration. We come to our mat to learn how to breathe. We come to our mat so we have control of our autonomic nervous system. So we are in control of how we react to things. Breathe. Step your left foot between your hands, coming up, warrior one, back foot. Remember, keep that heel down because we're working on ankle mobility. Right elbow comes on the outside of your left knee and twist. Gaze over the left shoulder, breathe. Each inhale and exhale, twist more. Slowly release. Step halfway up, grab whatever binds you took on the other side, and then hinging forward, leading with the heart. Make sure that your back stays straight and one hip's not going the other way or the other. Really engaging the legs here. And then it's like somebody's pulling on her head. So it's lengthening. We're actually trying to lengthen our spine. Breathe, keep lowering. Take your hand on your foot or your ankle or block and twist. Again, taking your gaze over your left shoulder. Your jersey can be a little tricky if you don't have the right engagement in your legs to help you with that push-pull that we have in yoga and when you have in life. Step to the top of your mat, forward fold. Woo, 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 woo. Shake it off. Shake it off. Get rid of it. Let that shit go. Okay. Ready. Bend your knees deeply. Take your hands all the way underneath. You ready for this tug of war? So we're pulling and we're leaning forward, but we're trying not to smash our face on the ground. So inhale, look up, pull up. And then as you exhale, whoop, straighten the legs. So your jersey is important. Straighten the legs and then lean your body weight forward. Head just drops down. Whole top part of your body. Be relaxed here at the beginning and just breathe. Remember, your mouth is for eating, your nose is for breathing. So trying to control your breath. Now start to lean your body weight forward onto your hands. See if maybe you can take one heel up, maybe both. Be careful here. Finding that push-pull, even though it looks like I could smash my face and wouldn't be able to stop it because my hands are stepped on. We still need to take challenges in our life. Sometimes the worst things end up being the best things for us. Exhale, forward fold, release your bind. Good job. Take your hands up to your waist and then, very slowly. This one never gets easier for me. Slowly come up. How we doing? How we doing? How we doing? All right. Woo. I feel loose. I feel loosey-goosey. So stepping forward, make sure your toes are forward, legs are engaged. So don't just hang out in your poses. Make your poses intentional. So we're intentionally putting our body through struggle and pain. So that way we can handle better choices. We can be more proactive and less reactive. Inhale, look up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, leaning forward. Again, we're kind of leaning that body weight forward. Just allow your top part of your body just to relax. Again, as you're leaning that body weight forward, and then slowly with the flat back, coming back up. Interlace your hands behind you. Make sure you keep the palms together though. We don't want to risk our shoulders. So inhale, look up, and exhale again, hinging forward, allowing the arms to drape up and over. Again, leaning that body weight forward. And then release your bind very slowly. Take your hands down to your mat and just walk your hands back as far as you need to. But if your palm starts to come up, back off. So wherever you are, walk the hands back. If your palm starts to come up a little bit, then just back off. And so just kind of pulling your body through if you can. Head is not touching the mat. If it is, which I'm sure not a ton of people are worried about, but if it is, shorten your stance, because we really are just trying to get gravity to just let our top part just hang, breathe. And slowly release, come up, good job. Come to your yogi squat. And so in our squat, we're trying to get our heels down, our butt and our pelvis forward, and then press the knees out. Keep pulling that pelvis forward, shoulders back, like you're squeezing a ball behind your shoulder blades, and you're pressing your knees out. Breathe and hold here for a second. Right hand comes in front of your shin. Try to get as far on the outside of your right foot as you can. Twist. That knee tries to pop in, pull it out. Working on shoulder mobility, you can always try to double bind. And then coming back to your yogi squat, take a breath here. Left hand comes on the outside and twist. Bind if you did on the other side. And then come back to your yogi squat. Hands in front of you, gripping your mat. Like I'm always talking about with like there's a ball underneath your mat. You're trying to squeeze that ball. You're trying to squeeze your ring finger towards your thumb. And then the muscles that we're going to be extremely talking about and working on, you're going to be exhausted, you're not even going to be moving, are the ones that we use to keep our body lifted. So it's like pulling up our bandha locks. Pulling up our bandha locks. So I'm literally just working the intrinsic muscles, the really deep muscles, my second diaphragm and my pelvic floor. It's probably more information you guys wanted tonight. But that is what we are lifting and holding and engaging when we're trying to balance in our crow. So hands are squeezing the mat. Come up onto your tiptoes and then squeeze your knees behind your triceps. So your knees are not going to go on the outside of your arms. Knees are on the triceps. And then you're going to start to just lean your body forward like we do in our half push-up. So make sure arms are forward and then going backwards. You're making a shelf with your knees on your triceps. And then slowly coming up and playing right here. You can just play, get the feeling, but lift those muscles up and get into your crow and hold. If you fall out, just get back in. Keep lifting, breathe, come on, get in your crow. If you fall out again, just come back up. But make sure those arms are going backwards. They're going backwards, they're not going out. Some people, if they're double jointed, they'll go out sometimes. So make sure your elbows are forward and they're going back. Because that's your shelf. That's your life force from stopping your head. So here, we're engaging all those muscles we're going to discuss in depth on Saturday. And then that allows us to take our head down and then slowly start to take our legs up and just balance. And the world looks so pretty from this view. So really keep trying to engage those muscles and figure out what we're talking about, what we're holding, what we're lifting. And it's amazing when you understand how those muscles work and how to make them work for you. So my workshop, disclaimer, okay, it's a little disclaimer. It's not for, it's not for people who It's not PG-13. It's probably going to be a little like rated R, but it's appropriate. But I'm just going to be talking about a lot of things. So if it offends you, please be careful. So go ahead, and for today, I've been a lot more gentle. I think a lot of us need just kind of some time to go in. But actually, I want to make sure we still get some back bends in. So you guys almost were lucky. So just tuck your heels to your butt as much as you can. See if you can reach your heels so you have a good alignment, and make sure your toes are forward. And then take your arms underneath your back and interlace them underneath. And now walk your arms under your back as you press your hips up, trying to get your chest towards your chin, not your chin towards your chest. And so allowing big belly breath here. Hold, keep pressing. So don't just stay in a pose and hang out and just hope it's gonna end. Press into it, breathe, make it intentional. And then lower down, windshield wiper the legs. And then if will is in your practice, get up there. If will is not in your practice, it should be. So my wills, get up there and hold. So if you can do a will, try to stay up for at least 30 breaths. I know that sounds insane, you can make them fast, but just give yourself some time to stay in your will. If you're working on your will, start pressing your body up just like we were in bridge. Your arm is gonna come up and over, fingertips forward, and then come up onto the top of your head. Pressing your body all the way up, just with everything that you have. Just try, even if your head doesn't even come an inch off the ground, start somewhere. Our muscles remember. So press up and breathe. Ooh, the pullets go upside down. Keep holding, lift higher. And then tuck your chin, lower down slowly, windshield wiper the legs. Taking your knees towards your face, hands up under your back, and just start walking them up. So this is like a yogi gas station here. So make sure your gaze stays at your toes. Don't hurt your neck. And again, big belly breath here, like you're trying to blow up a balloon when you breathe in. And when you exhale, you're letting the air out of the balloon. Inhale, belly comes out, big balloon. Exhale, you're letting the air out of the balloon. Inhale, and exhale, and then slowly with control, start taking the legs back behind you. And just let them touch the ground if they're there. Good, awesome, breathe. Interlace your hands behind you. And then slowly take your knees to your ears for ear pressure pose. Opening up your hands, using them as brakes, and just kind of lowering down vertebrae by vertebrae. And then just give me 3 rock and rolls. And then just sloppy fold over your legs. Just give yourself a second to get back control of your breath, to let go. Something I have to make all my athletes understand is we're working with the nervous system. We're not trying to be the biggest, buffest. We're trying to control our thoughts with our mind. And no, yoga is not easy, or at least mine is not. But man, it's a great way to clear out all the clutter and all the just self-stories we tell ourselves. So great when it's gone. And you can start to just actually enjoy who you are. And then see if you could reach towards your toes and then pull back in those shoulder blades again. So we're always kind of pulling back with the shoulder blades, leading with the heart. See how far forward you can go with that up dog quality in your chest. Pressing and pulling back the shoulder blades. Breathe. So make sure you're not arching your back and leaning forward. We're intentionally pulling our chest towards our ankles. And then slowly release. Take your right leg in like you're going into a frog, but like a sitting frog. And so we're still doing the same kind of pressing, but they're kind of relaxing on the ground, but still kind of that same pressing, because we want to keep our hips forward, chest forward, and then we're kind of pressing down on our leg. So leaning again with the heart, pulling back in the shoulder blades, start to lean forward. So make sure we're not hunching forward. That's much easier and it's not doing anything for you. So start breathing. So the quicker we let our nervous system realize that we're safe and we're okay, it will open up quicker than we're ready for it. It's just, we'll start opening right up. So breathe and just calm your body. Make sure you're keeping your hips squared forward. Slowly release. Switching legs. Pressing your knee, your thigh into your leg, but only just to keep that alignment. So when our body starts to turn, we're just kind of using that to pull our pelvis back in alignment. So again, leading with the heart. Make sure you're not leaning this way, kind of pulling your body towards the right now. Breathe. And slowly release. Go ahead and come up onto your knees. And then let's do just a little camel. So we've all been doing a lot of probably sitting and just different lifestyle than, just doing different things. So this actually helps reverse the, sitting that we're doing. So it helps with the pain and pulling on the back. So make sure you give your low back a lot of support and just kind of start pulling the elbows back as much as you can. So don't have them winged out, try to pull them back, keeping your hips over your knees, pressing forward, leaning back, breathe. Let your head and neck drape back. Very, very slowly in control, come up and tuck your toes and just sit in broken toe pose for just a second. Everyone's favorite. I actually love it, but I hated it at the beginning. I don't think any of my students like this pose. I'll come in and I'm like, broken toe pose, they're like, ah! Love it. And then slowly release, so come up and just take your forehead towards your knees, grab the back of your heels, and then just kind of come up where hopefully you can try to get on the top of your head. I thought my teacher was insane when he said that, but you're just trying to pull your body, trying to come to the top of your head as much as you can, stretching out the back part of our body, always giving ourselves counter poses. Breathe, trying to balance our life. And then slowly come up, take your hands down. Take your right leg, woo, and then wrap it around. So it's like we're kind of wrapping it around like this, but then we're also kind of opening it up so we can sit in between our legs. Yeah? So, knees, right leg comes up and around, legs open up, and then start to sit back. And try to get both sits bones and try to get both knees stacked. That might not happen for a long time. Didn't happen for me forever. So we have to start somewhere. We're always practicing. So yoga, there's no such thing as a perfect pose. We're always practicing. We're always deepening. We're always lengthening. So if you have shoulder issues, this would be a great place to grab opposite elbows. I'm not going to torture you with like a towel or nothing to grab opposite hands, but still make sure you're pulling back in those shoulder blades. And then again, we're leaning forward with the heart, keeping a straight spine because this is not doing anything. So pull those shoulder blades back and then start leaning forward. But then make sure your sits bones stays on the mat. So when we start to lean forward, our sits bones wants to kind of come up or one or the other. So really engage everything and press them back down as you lean forward. So a lot of times I'm always talking about push-pull. So we're kind of pushing our body to come forward, but then we're also pushing our lower half to go down, pulling it two separate directions, finding our yin and yang. Top part should be relaxed. And then see if you can slowly release your bind and just lean your body weight forward. And slowly come up. Take your left arm on the outside of your right knee. So we're twisting the opposite direction, pressing your right arm into your left arm into your right knee to twist, looking over your right shoulder. And then switching sides, so coming back up, taking your knees out, so coming back onto your knees. And then left leg is gonna switch, open them up, and sit your booty down. Nuzzle yourself in there, try to pull your feet back, getting those knees hopefully right over each other. This is very painful for a lot of guys, I know. And it feels like your knee's gonna pop off, and that's usually because you have tight hips. So reach back here and feel how tight your hips are right now. So this is where you should be feeling it on both sides with this pose. Both sides you should be feeling your hips. And so we're trying to let that go. We're trying to relax right here because it's always so tight. And so if you can't do this or it's too much for you, you can always take a block under your butt and start, working down, or we're trying to get the knees aligned more than everything, but if you need a block under your butt, that's a great place to start. So again, grabbing opposite elbows, leading with the heart, make sure your hips are staying forward and your sits bones are staying on the mat, and breathe, lean forward. And then slowly release your bind, taking your hands down to your mat. And just now you're just gonna let your body weight just drape over your legs if you're there. Just taking a few more breaths. And then slowly coming up. Take that right arm on the outside of your left knee and twist. Each inhale and exhale, you're trying to lift and twist more. And slowly release your body. Come back onto your knees. Let's just do a few cat-cows again. So just pulling everything up, inhaling to the very, very top, letting your sits bones and everything just reach towards the other side, pulling your chest like opposite directions. Exhale, tuck your chin, tuck your toe bone. One more deep inhale. Exhale. And slowly take your forearms down onto the mat and just kind of gauge. So make sure, Gage, that's my grandson's name, Gage, I love it. So make sure you have the right alignment here. Oh, this name's driving me insane. So make sure your alignment is good. So you don't want your arms too far out and you don't want them too far in. So you just want them directly over the shoulders, and we're pressing down so we have our 3 points of pressure. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And so we're pressing everything down. Again, we're lifting and pulling in all those muscles that I'm gonna go over and have you get in a meditative state to do it yourself and feel and learn how to activate and use those and send those powerful crystals and proteins and all of that amazing feel-good stuff, how to turn on our own happy medicine, getting high on our own supply. I love it, and every time we're doing a yoga class, it's like everybody's like yoga stoned. I'm like, go. And so taking your hairline onto the mat. So my head is touching the mat. And so when I come up, I'm not gonna be on the top of my head. I'm just gonna be hairline, like a little bit past my hairline. So my hairline's on the mat. My fingers are interlaced and squeezing my head, but my head's not really in my hands. It might cradle a little bit once we go up, but right now it's just squeezing. And we're pressing down into those elbows so we won't feel much pressure on our head. Please don't ever do this against the wall, and please don't kick up. So if you have to kick up in this pose, you are not ready. And everything is about the struggle and doing it correctly so we can grow. So we're not trying to get the pose. It's not about the pose. It's not about the pose. It's about the process. It's about where you are and how the struggle that you go through to get into it. So anyway, enough philosophy way. So really trying to get into your down dog legs. And so this already could be a lot for a lot of people. So if this is kind of too much for you, just stay there and maybe you'll just keep slowly walking your feet up. So this is a great way to start preparing for headstand. So maybe you just start here and you keep walking your body up until it's like, okay, I can't go any further. But if you're here and you feel like you can kind of tip your butt back a little bit further to kind of stack over your shoulders, then maybe you just kind of play with one leg. You play with the other. You play with the other. And then pull one, and then maybe the other. So make sure that you have that core and that stability to do that. And so here, this is way harder than actually going up. So see if you got your foundation, and then you're slowly gonna take your legs up, and then most people have them too far forward. You kill your core, and then you have to come down, or you're too worried to go back too far. You feel like you're gonna fall, but you're not. So keep trying to take those legs back so you stack your body. And then keep pressing in your elbows, engaging your muscles. Breathe. And then if you are a seasoned headstand, try to tuck your belly and hold back. So just come back the way you went in. And slowly come up. How y'all doing? And then go ahead and come into frog. So frog is, I don't like my knees on the mat. A lot of people like their knees on the mat. I don't, because I like it to slide. So when I open up, my knees go more. So, but a lot of people want to double up their mat, and there's no judgment. No, I'm kidding. So taking your knees out wide, try to find something that you can line up with, because everything's kind of supposed to be 90, 90, 90. And then if you need a bunch of blocks or some pillows because you can't lower all the way down, your butt could be possibly up here, and that's okay. But just make sure that you flex those feet, because we're also working on ankle mobility in here, multitasking, right? Nobody got time for that. And then just lowering down. So I'm literally trying to look like a frog. And then if you can go outside your mat, you can kind of use your mat as a guidance. But everything should be 90, 90, 90, and you don't want to be too far forward. So kind of pull your hips back. Just kind of find that sweet spot where it kind of really, really hurts, and that's where it is. When it starts to be uncomfortable, then go a little further, and that's where your frog starts. Breathe. So my teacher used to say in frog, when you feel like you're it's the hardest position and you can't hold it any longer, that's when the pose starts. That's when the work is done. So just take your time to breathe. Take your time to open up. You can hear my boys are here. Breathe. I love my athletes. They're the best ever. I love you, Miles. We just got done with Miles a little bit ago. He's awesome. And then whenever you're ready, just slowly, slowly, there's no graceful way to get out of frog. So just kind of roll your body forward. Flop like a little fishy. And just kind of windshield wiper your legs side to side. Really hope you guys enjoyed this practice with me tonight. This is not